Hi, friends. Okay, I'm Rachel. I am joined this evening by amazing professionals, and I see some friends in the audience. Rios, Karen Coleman, Valerie Machidemba, Joanna Hernandez, and Meredith Powell. Thank you all so much for being here. This evening's session is provided to us by First Smart Credit Unions. We're thankful for their support. I just want to send a quick reminder to everyone. Thank you for being here. If you can, please make sure that your Zoom login shows your name as you'd like for it to be spelled on your certificate. If that's presenting any difficulty, I know sometimes with mobile features that can be a little tricky. So if you would please, if everybody could just please go ahead and put their first and last name as they'd like for it to be spelled on their certificate, that works out great as well. Please do share your ideas with us in the chat. This evening, we'll learn more about mental health resources from these caring and knowledgeable professionals right here in San Antonio: Valerie Machidemba, Meredith Powell, Karen Coleman, Rios, and Joanna Hernandez. Thank you so much. So I am going to say welcome, Valerie, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that you can share yours.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Valerie.
Let me see. I apologize. I thought they were already in your slide deck, so I don't have them on my.
I'm absolutely happy to share from mine as well. Sorry about that. I'm being confusing. Would you like me to go ahead and would you like me to drive?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, thank you. I just want to first say thank you so much for being here. I know that it's always difficult on an evening to be able to collaborate, but I really do appreciate your time. And I appreciate Kayla always being an incredible resource for the community. My name is Valerie Machidemba, and I am a master's level licensed professional counselor. I work in the San Antonio community and provide services for ages 14 and up. And typically my sessions are face-to-face, but I also do provide telehealth to the community and Texas. So technology has really allowed us to expand services that are really needed. What I'd really like to talk to you today, and I'm ready for the next slide, Rachel, is an opportunity to engage in counseling in a new way that you may or may not be so familiar with. One of the advanced opportunities that we have to work in mental health is to use what's called eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. And when you first start learning about it, it kind of sounds weird and you're like, what is that? But really the concept behind EMDR is that it really helps us understand how the brain is working and how sometimes the brain really needs healing. And not only the brain, but sorry, I'm getting I'm a little under the weather today, so my brain is not operating the way that it normally does. But essentially, sometimes when we get into a certain thinking cycle or emotional cycle,
offline,
sorry,
this eye movement.
Okay. So sometimes our brain will get into a certain cycle and it can be really hard to get out of that pattern, whether it's emotional or it's thought-based. And so what EMDR does is it really helps to stabilize the brain and the body. And there are different approaches to this, but we use different skills. And throughout the skills, once we introduce those skills, then the actual brain starts to heal. And next slide. So we're going to talk just a little bit about what that looks like and what you can expect with EMDR. So I always use the skills with clients, regardless if they are going to use other methods, because I know that the skills that they learn are going to actually really help stabilize the brain and the body. And what's really important to me when I work with my clients is that the shame and the guilt that they might be experiencing when they kind of have these same things that they, I'm sorry, my brain is not working because I'm not feeling well, but I'm going to get it out. So I appreciate you guys working with me, but it's a brain thing. So when we realize, okay, it's just like nutrition or exercise, this is a brain thing. So it's not about a me problem or a you problem, it's a brain thing. And so we can really help the brain and that nervous system to use bilateral stimulation or other types of skills. And what bilateral stimulation really means is that we use the brain's eyes to move back and forth, and we bring in something that is called adaptive information processing. So if you think about all of your experiences that you've had throughout your life, I think most of us can think about a few things that we just have a really hard time forgetting about. And this is an opportunity when we use EMDR, we can actually really help the brain to reprocess the information so that we can bring in adaptive information. And so if you think about it, what we understand when we look at EMDR, it's from a lens of basically looking at, I'm so sorry, Rachel, my brain is like, I feel like my brain is normally, you know, it's nice and it's primed, but I'm under the weather, and so I'm having these moments where I'm just losing my words and my
You're doing such a great job. Friends,
I apologize.
can I give you a shout out just for a second?
Sure.
Friends, we've worked with Valerie so many times, and she has such amazing information. She's so knowledgeable, so compassionate, so kind, and she's right here in San Antonio and just amazing. So I want to say thank you for being here, because
Thank you.
you're awesome, and we appreciate you.
Apologize. I'm starting to
No
get,
apologies.
yeah, I'm just full disclosure. I started to get a bit of a migraine, and I was trying really hard to pull it off and pull it through, but it's very obvious that it's not working out very well because I just don't feel good. So I appreciate you guys bearing with me. But if you take anything away, I hope you'll get really curious about EMDR. There is a lot of other information on there that will help you to understand what's available. And of course, you have my contact information. So if it's something you're interested in learning more about, you can certainly reach out to me, and I'd be happy to hopefully be a little bit more articulate in the future and explaining a little bit more. So sorry, appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Valerie. You're getting a lot of love in the chat too, and everything. You're doing great. You're doing great. And it has been a long day too. So thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you, Valerie.
No problem.
Thank you for joining us. Friends, you'll be receiving a copy of the slides this evening with the contact information for our friends who are presenting. Please be on the lookout for that. Thank you. Friends who are just now joining us, if you would please be so kind as to put your first and last name in the chat feature if you haven't had a chance to do so yet. We very much appreciate you. And thank you so much, Valerie. You're awesome. Okay, friends, I want to say thank you so much. I'm going to stop sharing my screen because my friend Meredith Powell has some wonderful information to share with us right now. Hi, Meredith. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Give me just a moment. I will share my screen with you. You can let me know. Do you see my screen? Good.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you again for inviting me to speak on behalf of our program, Project Worth. So I'm going to share a little bit about what our program does as it relates to mental health and emotional well-being. We are a small but mighty team. I wanted you to see our faces. Sarah was going to join me this evening, but we have a small team, Victoria, who works with our youth, and then our program manager, Ellen. So if you ever meet any of them, they are part of Project Worth. Let's see if I can progress here. Sorry, I'm having some difficulty moving it along. Just a second. Okay, there we go. All right, so I know I see some familiar faces on the call this evening. So some of you may already know about what we do, but we're part of the City of San Antonio Health Department. And our mission is to really promote health and well-being of children and teens in San Antonio. And so we do that through 3 key actions, which is education. So we educate on social and emotional development and learning, and we collaborate with other youth serving organizations, schools, and the youth themselves on various health issues that relate to youth health, much of which lately has related to mental health in the community. And part of our collaboration is also currently with the University Health System and communities and schools to provide behavioral health counseling for teens in San Antonio. So we help support that not only through direct service, but also through funding these other entities to provide services. And then we also do a lot of empowerment work with youth directly because this work is about them that we do. It's about young people. So it's all about partnership and giving them an opportunity to lead. So we do that through our Dream SA Youth Engagement Initiative that's accessible at idreamsa.com and through our Project Worth Teen Ambassador Program. And so I'll just tell you a little bit about both of those. But first, I just briefly want to mention SEL, so social emotional learning, because that's kind of like our stake in this conversation around mental health and our educational piece. So if you're unfamiliar with SEL or social emotional learning, we use the collaborative for academic, social, and educational learning framework, which you'll see on the right side, which is like this little wheel, right? So there's 5 competencies that we try to target and build with the youth that we work with, whether it be through activities or an evidence-based program or just relationship building, right? And how we can build these 5 areas. And so this is one of several approaches we use for positive youth development and to help bolster and kind of strengthen mental health and emotional well-being for our teens. It's, as far as an approach for mental health, it's used as a part of the puzzle, right? So it's not just going to solve all the problems that people face by, giving them these skills. There are other, approaches to mental health, and we support those as well. So we're a little bit more on the promotion and prevention side, and of course we promote and support other modalities in the community that help address mental health challenges.
It's till 7 o'clock.
So a little bit more about our teen ambassadors and what they're doing. So these are, this is a program that we offer to the community for San Antonio teens that are in 7th to 12th grade. It's a volunteer leadership development program. And our teens meet about once a month to develop projects and address health issues that are important to them. And so they do a lot of community facing projects. Most recently, our teen ambassadors partnered with the San Antonio Youth Commission to develop and disseminate a teen mental health survey, because they brought to us like their concern about for themselves and for their friends and their schoolmates that they were struggling a lot with their mental health, and they wanted to figure out, how can we collect some information and data from the community that we can then use to help address these, mental health challenges that we are having and our peers are having. So that survey just closed last month, and we're in the process of kind of evaluating the data and sharing it with our teen groups, our teen ambassadors and our youth commission, so that they can come up with some strategies that they feel like will work best for them. So we're excited to kind of share that out in the near future. But that's the kind of work our teen ambassadors do. And we're also very excited here at the health department. We just launched SA Forward, which is kind of our strategic plan for the health department. And we have various priorities, one of which is mental health and community resilience. And as a part of that, our teen ambassador program will be expanding to a couple of schools to help pilot at the schools, which will create kind of help break down some barriers for some of the youth that don't have transportation or family support to go out into the community and participate, but we go to them and they too will be able to participate in the program and kind of lend their voice to youth mental health and youth health in general, addressing issues that are important to them. They'll also have the opportunity to participate in an evidence-based social emotional learning curriculum too. So if you know any 7th to 12th graders that are interested, send them our way. And there's also a lot of other really great youth leadership groups in San Antonio to get involved in. And then last, I'll just share with Dream SA. This is our youth engagement initiative that I mentioned. It's a resource, one-stop shop for youth to connect with opportunities, events, resources in the community. So you'll see our little icons there at the bottom of the screen. So resources and careers, higher education, volunteering opportunities, the arts, and then health and well-being as well. And within health and well-being, we have a great amount of resources, both locally and online, including hotlines and chat, text lines, for youth that are in need. And I would say most of them too, I mean, they're not just for youth, but the whole family, right? If you're needing resources, it's a great resource website to look to. And then we do also offer engagement sessions for schools to kind of engage with the youth and share this resource with them. So here's our contact information. If you would like more information on anything I mentioned, or would like to partner or collaborate, please reach out to me or my team at project.worth@sanantonio.gov, or you can give us a call.
Thank you so much, Meredith. It's always a joy to see you, and we appreciate you sharing this great information with us. I love that you shared also the ways that our children can get involved, right? This is a wide age range of possibilities for how our students and our families can get involved in this. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Friends, thank you so much. Thank you, Meredith. I'm delighted to be able to introduce you to Karen Coleman now, who's going to share with us. Hi, welcome, Karen.
Hi, everyone. My name is Karen Coleman. I am with the Center for Healthcare Services, which is the local mental health authority here in town for Bexar County. So one of the things that I wanted to bring to you today is one of the resources and one of the programs that we have available to the community. And that is mental health first aid. More specifically for this group, I chose youth mental health first aid. For those of you who don't know, youth mental health first aid is a public education program that basically teaches you how to recognize and respond to those signs of mental health challenges. The program actually originated in Australia in 2000 and has since been adopted in more than 25 countries across the globe. So it's pretty worldwide now. The course content is evidence-based. So if there's an evaluation studies that have demonstrated that the course is effective. In 2008, adult mental health first aid came to the US, and it was brought through a partnership between the National Council for Behavioral Health and the states of Maryland and Missouri. A couple of years later, youth mental health first aid made its way in 2012. And now most recently in 2018, the teen mental health first aid program was brought to the US. So again, some of those things that we teach during mental health first aid is how to recognize and respond to those mental health challenges, those signs and symptoms. We provide a lot of information about depression, anxiety, trauma, psychosis, and of course, substance use. Every participant will learn a 5-step action plan on how to help someone, how to start those difficult conversations. But most importantly, we give everyone resources, all the resources that we have locally in Bexar County. And then of course, we teach everyone the importance of self-care. Right now, I don't know that I have to remind everyone that trauma is the #1 risk factor for mental illness. And this global pandemic that we're going through is a traumatic event for all of us. So we're all in this together, and we're all dealing with it in some type of way, form, or fashion. The training youth mental health first aid is available for educators at no cost. So anybody in the school system, whether it's higher, university or a local ISD or charter school, we can train students, we can train administration, faculty, staff, but more importantly, we can train anyone in our community who's interested in this program. The more people that we train, the bigger the safety net that we can create. One of the benefits, if you're an educator, you can receive CPE credits. So depending on the curriculum that you sign up for, because again, we have youth and we have adult, and then whether or not you take it in person or virtual, because we have several different options, will determine on how many credits you get per session. Another great thing that we have is if you take the training through a local mental health authority, if anything were to happen and you're helping someone in good faith and something goes wrong, you're not liable in any civil damages as long as you're trained through any local mental health authority. So like I said, we have virtual courses and we also have in person. We have an adult curriculum, we have a youth curriculum, and now we have teen mental health first aid. The way teen mental health first aid is offered, it's through an ISD. So any teenagers in the 10th, 11th, or 12th grade can take that training, or any youth serving organizations can also offer this training for your teenagers. We also have other modules that are available, and that's higher ed. There's public safety, fire and EMS, veterans, and of course, older adults. So if anyone is interested in knowing more information, or if you're interested in taking the course for your organization, please contact us and I will provide you additional information. That's all I have.
Thank you so much, Karen. That's
Thank you.
amazing. There's so many different opportunities to learn more, and you've made that so very accessible. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Friends, I am so excited that all of you are here with us and that we have time to discuss these very important topics and to learn about the resources that are here in our community and the wonderful and caring folks that are here in the community to help us out. So now I would like to introduce you to Amber Rios Herrera. Welcome, Amber.
Let me unmute myself. I was like, where did it go? Can you everyone see the screen that doesn't have the notes or on it? Yes, okay, great. So good evening. Thank you so much everyone for being here. My name is Amber Rios and I am part of UT Teen Health, which is part of UT Health San Antonio or UT Health Science Center. And I just wanted to talk about some of our services. I wasn't going to go over some of the things that maybe don't have to do with mental health, but we are in the lives of teens day in and day out and in our community. So I did want to share some of the additional services that we have just briefly. So one of the things that we provide is evidence-based programs. And that's at the very beginning when we were first starting, it was mostly focused on sexual health. And now, of course, it's turned into just holistic health, overall health, decision-making, relationship building. And so we do provide training and technical assistance to our school districts who are partnered with us through grants that we've received and community-based organizations to implement these programs with fidelity. And then we want to make sure that they're trained on providing medically accurate information to youth, their families, and the community. And then, of course, we once they partner with us, we had partners with school districts and organizations. We will guide them through this process to get their community needs assessment. What is it that the community is looking for? What is it that they need? And what program best fits those needs? And then we want to create sustainability because we know grants don't last forever. So we want to make sure that if the grant's over, can they continue building skills in their community and continuing to meet those needs, even when the funding is gone. This is a new program that they have just started, literally, I think like last week. And this is called the Pregnant and Parenting Youth Program. And so what it does is it provides access to quality evidence-based care for pregnant teens. And so the partnership is with the school district and the UT Health Science Center to provide OB care for pregnant teens that will be seen at the MARC, which is our Medical Arts and Research Center here in the medical center by a certified nurse midwife. And then those midwives are also guided and I guess directed by medical staff to ensure that the teen moms are getting the services that they need. And so in that partnership, the school district will provide transportation to the appointments, and then of course a chaperone, and they'll come out to meet with the CNMs based on, you know, what trimester they are in and then what their needs are. And the good thing about this program is that they're going to have access to other programs such as Nurse Family Partnership, which follows the teens from, I believe it's 26 weeks pregnancy to 2 years after the baby is born. And it's for first time moms. I think it's a wonderful program because they will make sure that they're developing right, make sure that they're safe, guiding this, you know, new mom, new parents, new families in the process of, you know, having a healthy child. And then Hospital to Home is also a new program. I'm not very familiar with that, but I think depending on what their need is, they can get home visits during their postpartum, the healing process and things like that. And so, and then other services needed for maternity and newborn care. So the contact for this is Jana Sullivan, who is one of the CNMs, the certified midwives, and then Jennifer Todd as well. Another one that we have is our teen health clinic. I'm not sure how familiar you are with our teen health clinic. It is located at the Robert Brady Green campus downtown on the 4th floor, the women's health department, and women's health floor. And teens from, or it's like younger teens, so 10 to 24-year-olds can receive services. They can get vaccines, immunizations, health and puberty development education, reproductive health counseling, contraception, sports physicals. So, and then they can get referrals to, you know, NFP and then any parenting programs that are available to them. And so we connect them with those resources as well as meeting their health needs at the teen clinic. And it's a small location, located, you know, in a hallway where it's kind of private because teens don't want to be seen. And so we want to make sure that they feel comfortable. All of our clinics, including the RBG, we're recertifying them as teen friendly. And so with the help of our Youth Leadership Council, which is very similar, I don't know why that music started, which is very similar to Project Worth's Teen Ambassadors. Our Youth Leadership Council kind of help us to make sure that, you know, teens feel comfortable at the clinic, or certain questions asked, do they get privacy? And so we're in the process of kind of recertifying all our clinics within the University Health System line of, you know, clinics that are available. And so we're doing that. And then at our teen health clinic, we also provide mental health counseling, and that's where I come in. And so we received funding by the city of San Antonio about 4 years ago. And so I've been there for the past 4 years. And we provide free mental health services to teens 13 to 19. We also have medication management, which is available through our psychiatrist, who's also funded through the same grant. So all of his services are free. He's there twice a month. And he follows teens who, you know, are already taking medication, making sure that it's working for them. Of course, he meets with their parents as well. He assesses what their need is, you know, or teens who need medication. And so he'll go through and assess them and, you know, get them started on, you know, what's right for them, and then does follow-ups as they're kind of on this journey. And then I provide mental health counseling. And so we help teens manage symptoms of anxiety, depression. We will, you know, cover different family and relationship challenges, stress, anger, any other issues that are presented. And if we feel it's outside of our scope of practice, we want to make sure that the teens are getting the services they need. So we refer to Center for Healthcare Services or Clarity or other places that might help them. There are two of us. So I'm Amba Rios, and then we have another counselor. Her name is Maria Gomez Carrion, and we're both bilingual, which is very helpful just in general with the population that we've been seeing. And it's pretty easy to get an appointment. It just depends on the availability, but because Maria is new, she's a little bit more open. But our hours are 7:30 to 4 p.m. So we have, a little bit late times. We don't have weekend hours, but they can either call the number on there or if they're being seen by a UHS physician, they can put in the referral and get seen by one of us. And then the other program that we have available is our Project Yes. Some of you might be familiar with this. This is a free online web-based module, or consists of 3 web-based modules that help teens build new and healthy ways of dealing with stress and different emotions. And so teens can connect from their phone, from their laptops, from their desktops, by just either scanning or going to the link on here, and they can choose one of the modules, and each of the modules is geared towards, again, just building skills in a positive way. We encourage parents to go through it as well, just to see what the program's about. This is geared for 11 to 17, but really, I think, even older teens can take it. It's free. Each module takes about 30 minutes and provides them an opportunity to listen to advice from teens from San Antonio. And so we partnered with a university out of New York and took out their stories and brought our teens in to share their stories on how they dealt with different challenges and what skills helped them through those challenging moments. And at the end, teens will also be able to share their advice to others. So it's that peer support, because teens like to listen and hear from other teens. And so this is just one of the programs that we've been promoting for a while. And then these are the many ways to contact UT Teen Health. You can always, if you want to write my name down and then just let them know that you're interested in some of these services, and then we'll get you to the right people and connected to wherever it is that you need to get connected. So I hope I didn't go over time, but let me.
No, it's perfect. Thank you, Amber. This is just such a wealth of resources. Thank you so much. And again, wonderful ways to be able to get involved for the families, for the students, and it's so accessible. Thank you. Thank you for all that you do. Friends, thank you. I'm going to welcome Joanna Hernandez. Joanna, hi. Would you like to share your screen, or would you like for me to share?
I can share my screen.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
Let me see where I can find. I'm still getting used to how to use Zoom and stuff.
Oh, not to worry. And this, as soon as I feel like I've learned something new, I feel like there's something else to learn that's new. Maybe 2 things for every one thing I learned. If I may, just very, very quickly, friends, there's a link to the post survey in the chat. If you can please go ahead and click on that link, that'll open up the tab. So that'll be accessible for when we close out our evening session, and that helps us to prepare your certificates. Thank you. Thanks, Joanna.
Let me just go back, because for some reason it's like presenting itself. Okay, there. Okay, hi, my name is Joanna Hernandez, and I do various of things here in the community. I do yoga. I share yoga for children, tweens, teens, families, even like communities and like organizations. Also, like I'm an early childhood consultant as well, and this is my contact information. And I'm also a children's author. I read in Zoom, and I also go in person and read and do activities, which the book is called I Am a Gift, I Have Many Gifts, and which is
ice cream on sale.
Huh? Oh, so it's basically this, it just basically encourages a lot of the kids to give them, like, it builds self-esteem and confidence. So this is some of the services that I share and provide out in the community. Is kids yoga, family for some of it that are you familiar with Gardenia Gardens? It's there on 619 North New Braunfels. So like once a month we share like a health and wellness, even like different things about sustainability, just like, and that's taking place at Gardopia. This is Girl Scouts. I also like team up with different Girl Scouts with nonprofits like in the West Side, and to share. This is like an event that PBS and KLRN, I contact them and shared also family yoga at the park. And also with here, I also share yoga for teachers because I feel like sometimes there's like a burnout, which we feel like compassion fatigue. And sometimes like we pour ourselves out, and sometimes we gotta pour ourselves back, that care, that nurturing, that compassion back into ourselves, back into our bodies. And even though it may seem foreign and unfamiliar, but to me, it's just being okay, because we give so much love and care for others, and it is okay to give that love and care back to you, because you know what you need. And it's okay. It's not being selfish. It's just selfless. And it's okay to self-care and also make you your priority. And of course, teen and tween yoga, because like we know that the mind is going through a lot of things. Like we know like hormones, and which is it's just having the teens connect with their bodies and knowing about their minds and about the breath, learning how self-regulation, and even using like their own language, like affirmations, which we know like it's neuro language programming. When they know how to begin to flip that script, they begin more empowering themselves and their behaviors and their words and actions. So this is the things that I love it. I get excited. And also, I also provide private sessions and adaptive yoga. Adaptive yoga is a way to meet with the person where they're at, which like is like chair, like it's just different modifications, which is just, sometimes people feel intimidated by yoga because they feel like they need to be all bendy and flexible, but it's really meeting you where you're at that moment. And it can be just simply just connecting with your breath. And it can just be like breathing in and out, shrugging your shoulders, because that's just a form of bringing the mind home back to the body by using the tool of the breath. It's just bringing it home instead of being on, how the mind tends to get. And this is one of my, like some of the quotes is, the mind first step to self-awareness must be through the body. And it's by George Shannon. And it's when the mind is the reason why we're like, someone was sharing earlier about like, we're very disconnected because of what's happened, like, COVID and all that. We've gotten very disconnected with ourselves, with our bodies, and the stress. So it's just coming back home, which your body is your home. And there's a lot of benefits connecting with movement. Like sometimes we think movement is like doing this hardcore stuff, but it's really just getting to know, like using these tools and techniques. And also when we begin to connect more with our body, we begin to build confidence and trust our body, because we get to know our self-awareness, that just that spatial awareness, that proprioception. That's something that it benefits all of us. Why does it not skipping? So I'm like trying to like, well, this was held at Sam Houston, like giving sharing with teachers. I don't know. Okay, I'm trying to like go to the next slide, but for some reason it's not. There it goes. So like of course many of us like may know like what does yoga does, or even I call it somatic movements, because it's not just moving the body, but it's also connecting back with the body, which helps with even mental health, like, because the mind is part of the body. So it helps us, of course, to increase that balance in body and mind, flexibility, strength and coordination, balance. It brings concentration, confidence, self-esteem, trust, and much more. But it's not just for kids. It's for everybody. Of course, I shared that I'm also a children's author, and it's also available in Spanish. And it's called I Am a Gift and I Have Many Gifts, meaning like your talents and who you are and what you do is a gift. And it doesn't have to look like nobody else. It's looks, it's just the way you deliver and the way you give and the way you share it is uniquely and beautiful just the way it is. And that's just reaching it like at a young age. It comes in a like in a, but it, I believe, in my opinion, it like connects with everybody, like kids, teens, and adults. And yeah, like I don't. So that's what I do. Like I just a lot of movement, a lot of just sharing, playful. I feel like also like adults, like the next one I'm gonna be sharing in the community is like play yoga, but for adults. Because I feel like as adults, we don't know how to play and we feel like we have to be serious all the time. And sometimes out of nowhere, we start laughing and we're like, why am I laughing? It's because that's what our body wants to do. It wants to release. And sometimes our body tends to like leak, like cry. And it's just, that's what it needs to do. We got to trust our body, what it needs, what it's doing. Because that's when we trust our body, we get to trust ourselves and get to know ourselves. And when we build a more connection with ourselves, we begin to build more connection with others. And that's just coming back home. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joanna. That's lovely. Friends, her book is amazing, and really it'll just make you feel better. It's such a lovely book, and thank you for sharing these resources. I love how you all bring something different to share with us, and yet there's also much connectivity among everything, right?
Press coupons.
Sorry. So we're learning about all of these wonderful resources that are here in our community with such caring and wonderful individuals. You will be receiving a PDF copy of the slides and how to be able to connect with everyone and ask whatever questions you have. We do have a few minutes right now. I am going to go ahead and repost the post survey link in the chat. So if you can please go ahead and click on that. That helps us to stay in touch with you and to be able to let you know about upcoming events and also to be able to get your certificate ready. Friends, if you do have any questions, friends that are participating in the session this evening, do you have questions that you'd like to ask our speakers, or are there our speakers, are there any questions or ideas that you'd like to share in addition? I'm going to share my screen in the meantime so that we can kind of see where we are here. Any questions? I do want to point out that all of our wonderful speakers have been getting a lot of encouragement, and great to hear about these services and to learn about the work that you do. Friends who are joining us, would you like to add any questions in the chat? I'm doing a quick peek through the chat here, and I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. And Terry, I love that you asked the question, and Karen, you answered it right away about the teen MHFA. And thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate your dedication and what you do. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording now. Want to make sure to do that. So if you have any questions that you'd like to ask, those wouldn't be recorded as well.